Welcome to the Get Published podcast, sponsored by Brodie Consulting Group. To get more information about our coaching, publishing, executive ghostwriting, and podcast production services, go to getpublishedpodcast.com. Hello, I am Paul Brodie, and thank you for joining us for another episode of the Get Published podcast, where we help authors get published with a proven system that works. And today, we're being joined by Amelia Faggett, author of Life with a Special Needs Child. Amelia, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here today.
We are thrilled to have you. Are you ready to begin?
I absolutely am.
All right. Question number one. What is the one piece of advice that you would give to a first-time author who is currently writing their book?
Wow. So I believe I would definitely say become knowledgeable of what you're writing about, especially if it's something that's not personal to you. And also, keep an understanding that it's not specifically about you. It's for the betterment and help for someone else. Your experiences is helping others. And, just keep pushing forward and completing what you're doing. I know sometimes life gets ahead of us, and it took me 10 years to write mine. But it was mainly because of my own self-negative thoughts. But if you stay positive and focus on your purpose of completing your book, then you'll be fine.
And what do you feel is the hardest part about getting published?
For me, I personally didn't have a large interest in going through a publisher directly. So what I did was I created my own publishing, and I did it independently. So I didn't worry about trying to, bring in a third party or trying to do it that nature. So all of my sales are direct.
Well, let's talk about marketing. So please share a marketing strategy that you have used in your book launch that has worked well.
With that, a lot of social media, connecting with other people. And that's something that you should do ahead of time. That's not something that you do after the release of your book. I started a lot of my marketing about 6 months prior to my book was being released. So it was going through its own processing. And during that time, I just, kept reaching out to different people, especially in my area. So since I'm more in the area of special needs, I reached out to a lot of groups because I'm not perfect either. There's things that I'm still learning. So it was helpful to me to connect with a lot of others, a lot of different groups that are out there. And some of the individuals that I am connected with in the entertainment and athletic, professional athletic area, they were able to assist me as well. So they helped me with the marketing part as well. So that was very beneficial for me. And that's not something for everybody that they'll get an opportunity to have. So I would say just, connect with all the social media groups that you can, especially in your area, whether it's something that's medical or just, for women or men or whatever that area is of specifics, then you should connect with people in different groups of that nature.
Now, you mentioned groups. Are you talking about groups specifically on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or LinkedIn?
Right.
Where are you looking?
So any of those different groups, any of those platforms, you get into individual groups on those platforms. And, so whether that's Facebook, that could be LinkedIn, those are so many different platforms that have their own groups, and being a participant in those groups is really great because people get to hear from you as well. So you're not just being on those platforms just to be there or just be on the page, but actually, connecting with these people that are on your page, that's in your groups that you're in, commenting, liking, connect with them, because people like connection. And I like to do that. My social media pages, I don't want people just to be on my page. I want to actually connect them and know what they're about. So when I see their posts, I have a better understanding of the person and what they're posting.
Well, speaking of books, I'd like to know what is your favorite book and what was the number one thing that you learned from it?
Oh, um, I am a reader, but I don't really have a favorite book other than the one that I write. But I don't really have a favorite, but a category I would say is in regards to women. I like to read a lot of books in regards to women, and a lot of Christian books I like to read as well because it keeps me up on my game and staying in my word. And so I really try to make sure that I'm doing right things. And when I'm reading, and I like to highlight, I like the physical book because I like to highlight. And so I don't necessarily have a favorite book with a favorite quote, but I do like to read a lot of books in regards to women, something that's a self-help beneficial to me.
And for a final question, what is your favorite quote and why?
Well, again, I didn't really have a favorite quote. I feel really crazy. I can't really think of a quote that I would necessarily, that I have to share with others, but I tend to do a lot of writing or thinking about things that I like on my own, if you will. So with that being said, again, I really don't have a favorite quote that someone else has written. No, I don't really have one.
Well, what about a most recent quote that you may have heard?
That's a well. There is a. I don't really have a quote, but it is a quote rather. It's in scripture. For wisdom is is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it, and that's in Ecclesiastes 7:12. So that's one of the recents that I had actually posted on my social media that I really liked that because it was very beneficial to me in regards to having that knowledge and having wisdom, because that's one of the things that I work on when I'm reading those women books in the Christian aspect, because I like to continue to gain wisdom. We're all growing each day. So I like to stay on top of the knowledge of the area that I'm in and gaining my daily wisdom.
Amelia, I want to thank you for being a guest on the show. What is the best way for people to find you online?
Okay, so to connect with me, the best way to go to lifewithASpecialNeedsChild.info. And from there, you'll be able to purchase my ebook. You'll be able to kind of learn a little bit more about me. It has links for my email to connect with me directly. I do have special needs parent coaching that I provide. And so you'll be able to connect there and follow me. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram and Facebook under Amelia Faggett. And that's Faggett, Faggett.
Well, Amelia, thank you once again for being on the show, and I wish you all the best in your author journey ahead.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks again for joining us today. To learn more about how to get your book published with a proven system that works, grab a free copy of my book at getpublishedpodcast.com.